Okay, everybody, welcome back. If you're new, my name is Chris. Welcome to Chris's marathon night of filming. This is video number 3 of 5 videos I plan on filming tonight. This is a request video. Somebody asked me, hey Chris, can you do a video based on smelling like an apple pie? And I said, can I do a video based on smelling like an apple pie? You bet I can do better than that. I have 8 fragrances that smell like an apple pie. You know, that boozy apple pie, that naughty apple pie, that cinnamony tobacco apple pie. I have 8 of those. So I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone because I don't need 8 perfumes that smell like an apple pie or some derivation thereof. So I'm going to go through all the perfumes that I have that scent profile, and at the very end tell you which ones are staying and which ones are going. This is going to turn into a you do not need all of these perfumes. So you get a 2 for 1 in tonight's video. So where shall I start? I'm going to start with, in my collection, the OG, the original cinnamony apple pie that I had. And it is Boucheron Ambre D Alexandire. I've had this for several years. And it did pick up some traction, I want to say, maybe a couple years ago on YouTube, and then no one talks about it anymore. I still love it, appreciate it very much. It reminds me a lot of Ambre Narguilé, which was a gift I received years and years ago. I had a small bottle of that. And when I found this, I knew I didn't have to get the more expensive Hermes version, because this is everything I wanted in a giant 4-ounce bottle, and this cost me less than $100. I mean, it's like amazing bang for your buck. So like a lot of these perfumes, this has a combination of tobacco, amber, resins, vanilla, spices, and the combination of which forms an apple pie kind of a thing. This has more spices to it. This is a little bit more spicy. I smell cinnamon in here. And even though this has tobacco, it's not overly tobacco-y or smoky. This is unisex, leaning feminine in my opinion, because it is a little bit sweeter. This is one of my go-to Christmas fragrances, and every single time I wear it, someone says, wow, you smell great. You smell like an apple pie. This was my Thanksgiving fragrance of the night. And I went over to my brother's house and they had a bunch of family. And when I got in the car after I sprayed it, Pat said, gosh, you smell really good. What is that? As if he had never smelled it before, even though I've had it for 4 years. So it is a terrific OG in my opinion. I think the most popular boozy apple pie that everybody's probably heard of is Angel Share right here. So cognac, cinnamon, tobacco, oak, praline, a lot of sweetness. So a very sweet cinnamony apple pie, but the addition of the cognac gives it that naughtiness. So a naughty, boozy apple pie, very thick, very sweet, very syrupy in my opinion. In fact, even for this gourmand lover right here, it's too sweet for me to wear most of the year, and that it has a lot of booziness and it is very syrupy sweet. Another one that I haven't talked about in a while, I used to talk about this when I first had my channel. Now this is called Raison All Dae, and the notes are on the label, but this is an apple crisp. There is a darkness to it. There's plum in here. There's like a dark rose, honey, and this crazy stainless steel note, which gives it just the slightest bit of a cold metallic touch in the beginning. I also get something like a raisin, like a cinnamony raisin. So together, everything smells like this warm, bubbly, dark apple, plum, thick pie that you just made. It's hot, bubbling, piping out of the oven. You've got that vanillic, brown sugary crisp on the top. The rose is very much in the background. I do not get a lot of rose. These gourmandy notes completely take over the rose. And this is such a powerhouse. I've had this for 3 years. I've worn it so many times, but this is a 1 to 2 sprayer. It's so incredibly strong. And again, even though I don't think the note is listed, I definitely get like a raisin, like a cinnamon, raisin, plum thing going on. This just screams holidays in a bottle, like cold holiday weather here. The next one is one of my current favorites by Essential Parfums. This is Divine Vanille. I've shown this a lot here on this channel, and I've shown it over on Instagram. So vanilla, amber, spices, tobacco. There's osmanthus in here, which gives it the slightest bit of an apricot-y touch, and everything combined, everything coming together definitely smells like an apple pie. Compared to the other perfumes, particularly Angel Share or even Ambre D Alexandire, this isn't as heavy. This has a lightness to it. There's more vanilla. It's a lighter wearing fragrance. It wears more lightly. The spices are toned down. There's no booziness in this whatsoever. And I find this very wearable. One of the only, I'm looking at them all, this is the only one I would wear in the summer and have worn in the summer. And the perfumer is Olivier Pichot. I say that for a reason, because its companion here is Herod. Now these two smell remarkably similar. I've shown these two in other videos, affordable alternatives to more expensive perfumes. These two smell remarkably similar, and it is no surprise that it is the same nose. Olivier Pichot is the nose behind Herod. A very similar note profile. You have the same notes: tobacco, vanilla, cinnamon, spices. This has a heavier tobacco. So when you put these side by side, this wears more lightly. I would say this is unisex leaning feminine. This is unisex leaning masculine. There's a darkness to it. It's more heavy. It wears more heavy. And definitely the tobacco is much stronger in this one. Surprisingly, even though neither one of these is a powerhouse, I actually get better wear out of this one. This one's way more expensive, and for whatever reason, I know this is a legit bottle. I only buy my fragrances from legit sites. This has terrible longevity on me. So I tend to, for many, many reasons, I tend to pull for my beautiful Divine Vanille, which, by the way, if I didn't mention, this entire line is incredibly affordable. This 3.4 ounce bottle was less than $100, and I want to say I got it for $75. So big price difference. So the next one I'm going to go for is, or pull, is this one right here, Khamrah, and I think we can all agree. I think perhaps the idea was this was at least an impression, or was going to be an impression of Angel Share, and that is why I didn't purchase it for the longest time. I had Angel Share. I only wear it 3 months out of the year. I didn't need another perfume that smelled like it. And to me, there are some very big differences, and shall I dare say, I think I actually like Khamrah better. I find it easier to wear. It's more light wearing. It's not as heavy. It's not as thick. It's not as dense. It has a lightness to it, even though it has great longevity. It's not as boozy. It still has a lot of similar notes. This one has dates, praline, and cinnamon and vanilla, just like Angel Share. But the main difference to me, well, there are a lot of differences, but big differences in the dry down. Whereas Angel Share is just super thick and heavy. This one is woodier. I get more spices and a more woodiness to it. I actually prefer the dry down of Khamrah better, surprisingly. So a fabulous impression or alternative to Angel Share, which has that apple pie, woody apple pie, cinnamony, sweet cinnamony, praline apple pie, which has a great dry down. And, okay, battery change. And I thought I had one more. I have two more. So moving more out of the strict apple pie, busy apple pie, cinnamony apple pie, fruity apple pie, you get the drift, is Oajan. This beautiful fragrance. So veering slightly away from that apple pie, cinnamony apple pie thing, Oajan has honey, and it has osmanthus. So you get this apricot vibe, and the honey gives it a nice sweetness. So it's sweet, but it's not overly sweet. And instead of a straight up apple pie, I get something like a hookah, like more of a fruity tobacco nuance. It still has a booziness to it, even though I don't know if like a boozy note is in here. It's resinous. This one has a noticeable patchouli in the dry down. So it's warmer, it's got a little bit more heft, it's not as sweet, it's drier, it's more woody. Marketed to men, in my opinion, very unisex. Many people might think it leans masculine. And this is a new bottle that I never wore, and I had it sitting out, and Pat walked by, and I think he assumed that it was a masculine or a fragrance for men just by looking at it, sprayed it, and said, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So Vicky Pat has always liked this note profile, so it doesn't surprise me at all that he really, really enjoys the more masculine leaning version of this take on a fruity, a cinnamony, fruity, boozy, tobacco-y, warm pie. And the last one that is a little bit out in the periphery with this note profile is a fragrance I've talked about tens and tens. It is by Une Nuit Nomade, and it is sugar leather. This one has leather. So this does have a note of leather, which most of the other ones do not. I don't think any of the other ones have a note of leather or a prominent note of leather. This one has caramel. It's not overly caramelly sweet. It has a sweetness to it, very resinous, benzoin heavy. I get it. It's a very resinous, benzoin heavy perfume. If you enjoy resins, particularly benzoin, which I love, you are going to really love this one. In addition to having leather, they all have cinnamon. This one is a cinnamon balm. This has a lot of cinnamon. So if you don't care for a really prominent cinnamon and or leather, you may not like this because those notes or accords are fairly prominent in here. But one that I've had since the spring, could not wait to wear in the fall because this is just, this note profile is right up my alley. I love it. So that is an overview of my perfumes, the 8 of them that smell like a boozy, cinnamony apple pie. Now, I don't need all these. Of course I don't need all these. So which ones am I going to keep and which ones are going to go? Some of these may be a surprise. So the first one that's going to go, which is a shocker to me, I love the perfume, but I think it's just too sweet for me right now, and my time with it is over, is Rosé All Dae. This is so sweet. This is just so tooth-achingly sweet, even though it's a fantastic sweet gourmand fragrance. There are others in this bunch. I don't need all these, so there's others that I pull for and would prefer. So Rosé All Dae is going to be going in somebody else's hands. Now we're left with the 2 that are just too incredibly similar to keep. Now I don't know if you could tell, is my camera battery on? Good. I don't know if you could tell from my descriptions which one I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep Divine Vanille. It's easier for me to wear. I think you can wear it year round quite easily. I have worn this in the summer. This one is a little bit more masculine leaning. This one just is a little bit more vanillic. The tobacco is heavier in this. This lasts a little bit longer. And this one just does not last on me. So when I put them side by side, I'm going to keep Divine Vanille, and Herod is going to be finding a new home. Because like I said, I don't need all of these. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Can't believe I'm doing this. So now we have these 2. We have Khamrah and Angel Share. Please don't be hating on me for what I'm about to say. I actually find Khamrah easier to wear. I could see myself wearing this year round because it's not as heavy and thick and rich. Love the dry down. It's lighter. Angel Share, it's just, I only wear it literally 2 months out of the year. It's a beautiful perfume, and the bottle's gorgeous. But if I look at them side by side, I think I'm going to pull Khamrah more. So Angel Share, Beyonce, don't come after me, is going to go bye-bye. Now we're left with 4. Sugar Leather isn't going anywhere. You guys know I love it. Ambre D Alexandire is not going anywhere. It's very unique. It's different from all these. It's my OG. I love it. Not going anywhere. Khamrah is staying, and Oajan is going to go to Pat. This is going to be a Christmas gift for him, and he's super picky, and it's hard for me to find perfumes that he loves, and I know that he loves this. So 5 are going, 3 are staying right here, these 3, and I'm super happy. I think these 3 are going to cover me when I feel the need to wear that cinnamony apple pie, boozy apple pie, naughty apple pie, spicy apple pie. You get the drift. And the other 5 are going to find new homes. Well, one's still going to be under my roof, but a new perfume shelf home. And that's it. So thanks for the request for this video. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and it allowed me to take a look at my collection and decide what's staying, what's going. I hope you enjoyed your time with me in a short little video. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for supporting me. And with that, I will see you on the next one.